Okay, welcome. You are here right now because something should be working, but it is not. And today we are going to fix the conversation that is stopping people from committing. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so if 90% of people who see your offer don't buy, and you're tired of 1,000 people watching while only a handful of people commit, stay with me. Let me pull you aside for just a second. Not everyone, just you, okay? And before you check out, let me be clear about something. This webinar is not for everyone. It's not for people who have just started yet. And it's not for someone still thinking about maybe one day. All right? This is for people who have already done the work. They're already showing up. They're already putting themselves out there because here's what I see. You are visible right now. People are watching you. They're liking, they're clicking, they're replying. From the outside, it looks like you've got momentum, but inside, it doesn't feel settled. Some launches, they surprise you in a good way, and others leave you staring at your numbers, wondering how the same effort produced a completely different result. One week you feel locked in, the next week you're quietly reopening tabs you promised yourself you would never do. You're Googling, and the part that really gets you isn't the inconsistency. It's the question you don't say aloud because it sounds ridiculous coming from someone at your level. Why does this still feel hard? Why is it harder than it should be? Because people assume you've already got it figured out. They see the content, they see the engagement, they assume the back end is humming. But what they don't see is behind the scenes. You are tweaking, you're adjusting, you're second guessing decisions you've already made 3 times. And if that's you, I want to say this slowly because most people, they never hear it. Nothing is broken. Not you, not your ability, not your work ethic. You don't need to try harder. You don't need to become more confident. And you definitely don't need to be better than what you already are. And no, you don't need more traffic either. What's happening is quieter than that. What's happening is everything looks right on the surface, but something important is slipping through after people see your offer. There's a tiny invisible mistake that turns attention into friction, momentum into hesitation, interest into nothing. And once you see it, once you truly see it, you'll never look at your funnel, your launches, or your results the same way. So let me ask you something. No pressure, no trick questions. Just notice what comes up. Notice what you feel. When someone lands on your offer for the first time, do they immediately understand what problem it solves for them? Or do they need to work a little to connect the dots? When people say, I love this, do they actually buy from you? Or do they save it, bookmark it, and tell you that they're going to come back later? When someone does click through, does the next step feel obvious? Or does the energy quietly drop the moment they have to decide, the moment they have to commit and make an investment? Here's another one. And be honest with yourself, okay? If a stranger watched your last launch from the outside, would they know exactly who it was for? Or would it sound good, but slightly be a little too broad, slightly a little too safe, slightly a little too polished in a way that doesn't force a decision? And here's the one that matters the most. When your offer doesn't convert, do you think to yourself, man, I need more eyes on this? Or do you pause and ask, is something getting lost after the click? If you found yourself nodding to even one of these things, you are not behind and you are not doing it wrong. You are just standing at the exact point where visibility stops being the problem and clarity starts being the lever. And that is the shift that we're going to make today in this webinar. Let me tell you what's actually hard. It's not that nothing is working. It's that enough is working to keep you stuck. So it's frustrating. You post something, it lands. People respond. You feel it for a second. And it's like, okay, we're moving. Then it fades. No decision, no clean follow through, no pattern you can trust. And you don't panic. You adjust. You tell yourself, you know what? I just need to tweak this. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe I'll try again next week. You double down. You get on more lives. You create more content. You start a Pinterest. You create a video because that's what capable people do. They come up with solutions. They don't spiral. They optimize. But somewhere between one launch and the next, a quieter thought starts to show up. Not traumatic, not just kind of like annoying. And it's like, why does this still feel heavier than it should? Because you're not confused. You're not new at this. You're not guessing. You know how to get attention and you know how to show up. You know how to make people listen. And that is what makes this part so uncomfortable. You're doing the work, but the results don't move in a straight line. So you start explaining it all away. Maybe your audience needs more warming. Maybe your niche takes longer. Maybe you need to be more confident when you present. Maybe you need to be more certain. Maybe you need to be more put together. And that's the one you don't say out loud. You just feel it. Especially when someone says, wow, you're everywhere. Or you're doing so well. And you smile because technically you are. But behind the scenes, you're recalculating again. Not because you're failing, but because you don't fully understand what's causing the win. And that is the real drain. Not your lack of success, but the lack of predictability. When results feel inconsistent, you don't build momentum. You manage anxiety. And you don't even realize it, but that's what you're doing when you hesitate, when you soften the ask, when you leave space for people to decide later, because asking for the sale without certainty behind it feels risky. So you keep things open, you keep it flexible, you keep it low pressure, and it looks mature. It looks strategic, even ethical. But it quietly teaches your audience to do the exact same thing that you are doing. And that is to wait. So now you're stuck in a loop where people like you and people watch you. And they almost choose you. Almost becomes normal. And that's the nightmare. Not that you can't do this, because you can. But that you're so close, you can taste it. You can taste those 6-figure months. You can taste that time off with your family. You can taste all those bills being paid. You can taste all those clients succeeding. You are almost there. But you are still carrying the weight alone. And if you are here, raise your hand. Let me say this clearly before we go any further. You don't need any more hustle. You don't need any more confidence. You are doing the damn thing and you don't need to become a different version of yourself. What you're dealing with isn't about effort. It's about friction. And I know you've been blaming yourself for something that's actually structural. So I'm going to show you how to remove that friction once and for all. By the end of this webinar, you're going to know how to stop losing momentum after a big launch and make every interaction count. Predict exactly which parts of your offer are getting people to act and which parts are silently stopping them. You're going to be able to convert interest into actual sales without begging, pushing, or waiting for the perfect moment. You're going to see right in front of you the invisible gaps that have been quietly holding you back. Not because you haven't been trying, but because at this stage where you are, you're tired of guessing. You're tired of wondering if the next tweak, the next idea, the next push is what finally makes this all work. And here's the good news. The days where some weeks felt effortless and other weeks felt like you were stuck on a treadmill going nowhere, oh yeah, those days are over. You're finally going to understand why the more leads, more traffic, more content advice has failed you and how to flip it. So that attention you already have already works for your favor. So let me ask you, are you ready? Because by the end of this, you won't just know what to do. You're going to see it and you're going to feel it and you're going to understand it. So clearly, you'll be able to apply it immediately. This isn't theory, and this isn't a case study from someone else's life. This is about you, your offers, and the exact invisible friction that has been stopping your success and how to finally eliminate it. What you're about to see is going to make you say, wait, it's been this simple all along. And once you see it, everything about how you launch, how you sell, and convert will feel different. Now, imagine this for a moment. You've removed the friction, everything flows, every launch, every offer, every interaction, predictable, reliable, profitable. Picture waking up on a Monday morning and actually looking forward to the week ahead because you know exactly how to convert attention into results. Sales calls are booked and you are ready to roll. You are ready to make an impact. No more guessing, no more panic, no more crossing your fingers, manifesting on a full moon, or reciting money mantras, hoping the money gods hear you. Instead, your inbox is filled with people ready to engage. And it's not just about your numbers. Let's be real. When you are bringing in more money, you have more confidence, you have more clarity, and you have more freedom. Imagine closing every week knowing that all the effort you put in, every piece of content, every message, every launch actually amounted to something. It actually moved the needle to grow your business and grow your income. The days of wasting time are over. And if you follow what I'm going to show you right now, this won't just be a dream. This could be your reality. But the best part is this. You'll get there without working harder, without endless late nights, without feeling like you're spinning your wheels, because the truth is, we are tired. And with that friction gone, your momentum, it turns into acceleration. And you finally start seeing the results that you deserve. Here's the part I want you to hear. I'm not talking theory here. I've seen people with visibility, engagement, proof, and still it wasn't enough. They had eyes on them, comments, shares, likes. People were watching, but they didn't have a reliable system. They didn't have a way to turn attention into actual revenue. Okay? So their confidence suffered. They were all over the place, posting here, creating tons of low ticket offers, and reaching no one. But then we put a step-by-step framework into place. We removed that friction. We clarified their offer. We built predictable buying behavior. And what happened next? Oh, everything clicked. All that proof, all that engagement, all that visibility finally turned into predictable, reliable results. And it's not because we sat together in a circle and sang kumbaya. We did the work. We plugged our systems into their business. We changed their approach. We pinpointed their power buyer. And ultimately, we changed their confidence. One client was able to make $100,000 in just 6 days. Here's what he said. What surprised me wasn't just the result. It was how obvious the problem was once I could finally see it. I didn't need more traffic. I didn't need a new offer. I needed to fix the conversation my funnel was already having. After restructuring my ads, lead magnet, and landing page using the conversation clarity method, everything clicked. The right people started raising their hands. Sales conversations felt easy instead of forced. We generated just over 100,000 in 6 days, giving me a really quick ROI. And for the first time, it didn't feel like a fluke. The real win was the relief of knowing what was working and why, and that I could replicate it. Imagine that. Imagine that. We have another client, $28,000 a month, and they got to $62,000 a month, right? In under 30 days. Here we go. Here's their review. Before this, I was stuck in that frustrating place where things looked good from the outside, but the members didn't match the effort. I had engagement, I had leads, but I was hovering around 28,000 a month and constantly tweaking, second guessing, and wondering what was missing. The conversation clarity method helped me finally identify where the conversation was breaking and fix it without having to start over. Once the messaging lined up from the ad all the way through the welcome sequence, conversions stabilized. We were able to scale. That's important. To 60,000 a month. But more importantly, I stopped feeling embarrassed about my back end. Now I know exactly why people buy and how to repeat it. Now this is all with no extra hours and no new products. And here's the truth. Every day, capable, talented people just like you with everything in place are losing months. They're losing money. They're losing time with family. They're losing patience, and they're losing hope to friction that could be fixed in a single weekend. Don't lose hope. That's why today matters. This isn't about guessing, and this isn't about trying as many things as you can and seeing what sticks. This is about a repeatable, reliable approach for people like you who are ready to make their visibility and engagement actually pay off. No fluff, no gimmicks, just results. Think of it like this. You got a high ticket, you got a high performance car. All the parts are shiny. The engine is roaring. The tires are perfect, but you've been stuck in first gear. The car is capable of so much more, but you just haven't shifted out of gear. That's what's been happening with you. You got the visibility, you got the engagement, you got the proof, but you don't have the sales. So now it's time for you to shift that car into full throttle. Something invisible has been holding it back. But once you understand how to make that shift, that hidden lever that most people overlook, the way you approach every launch, every offer, and every interaction changes. So don't lose hope. That's why we're here today. Do not lose hope. We can get through this. So what felt unpredictable, it becomes reliable. What felt inconsistent, it becomes repeatable. And all that friction you've been wrestling with is gone. This is the moment where the game flips, and you deserve it. The one thing that you thought was a barrier is actually the exact thing that makes your success easier, faster, and more certain than you ever imagined. Let me tell you where your system usually breaks, okay? Not in your ads, not in the copy, not even in the offer. It breaks before all of that. Most people are trying to speak to everyone while secretly hoping the right person will hear it. But we are not doing that anymore because that's why you end up with 1,000 people watching and only a handful of people buying. Yes, conversion rates, blah, blah, blah. But the real question people want to know is how can I get the most bang for my buck? How do I get the best ROI? Here's the uncomfortable truth I had to learn the hard way. Every time you try to include someone who isn't ready, you make the person who is ready feel less certain. Power buyers, they don't want to be convinced. They don't want to be educated. They don't want a pep talk. They want you to fix the problem. They want you to feel like you're already talking to them. So you can stop trying to be nice and include everyone. You are not for everyone. And you are for a very specific person who has a very specific problem. So you need to get very clear about who you are not for. You are not for the person still thinking about starting. That's not your person. You are not for the person who needs motivation. That's not your person. You are not for the person who loves content but doesn't implement. Not your person. You are not for the person who asks about the price before they understand the process. Not your person. Talking to them ends today. Because the moment your message tries to serve them, your real buyer starts to wonder if you can actually fix their problem. That's why they watch. And that's why they nod their head and they give you a like and they keep scrolling. They don't commit. Now, here's the shift that changes everything. Power buyers, they don't show up excited. They show up frustrated, just how you showed up today. They've already tried things, they've already spent money, they've already told themselves this should be working by now. They're running ads, they're building funnels, they're tweaking offers, but they are losing. From the outside, it looks like momentum. It looks like engagement. It looks like shares. But this isn't a popularity contest. This is about getting in front of the right people who need your offer and who will pay for it. That's it. You can keep the likes. You can keep the comments. You can keep the shares. I don't want it if I don't have people buying. Anytime I'm smiling on the camera to make a reel and then I'm frowning once I go back to look at my numbers, I have a problem. And you have a problem because behind the scenes, it feels like effort without payoff. You have people binging your content and scrolling to the next person. There is someone out there who is waiting for the moment you say something that makes them think, oh, this person gets me. Kick everybody else out. We are no longer talking to you. I'm talking to that person over there. They are already spending and they are already trying, but they are stuck and they need you. It's your time to show up. I'm not interested in talking about talking to people who want to become something or talking about what people want to become. I want to talk about what they're dealing with right now. I want to talk to power buyers who don't buy dreams, they buy relief. They want consistency. They want control. They don't want more views, they want more conversions. That's who I want to talk to. So when your message talks about the future, they listen, they like, and they scroll by. But when it describes their current state, their inconsistent sales, their traffic but no buyers, an offer but no system, that's when they stop. That's when they think, okay, wait, how do they know that? That's when you hook them in because it's embarrassing to look like you've got it all together. But on the inside, you don't know which direction to go next. Save the Disney magical fairy dust. You've got to get down in the mess with your customer and say, I know what you have been through. I see you. I see the views, but no clicks. I see the clicks, but no conversions. I see the offer, but no sales. I see what you're going through right now, and I can help you. Now, we have defined who you are no longer talking to. Identify that they are running ads, they're building funnels, and we have described their current state, that they have traffic, but no buyers. Now we need to talk about what they're losing. People don't pay to improve, they pay to stop a loss. If nothing is being lost right now at this moment with your power buyer, time, money, momentum, confidence, control, then there's no urgency. And without urgency, there's no sale. They think, okay, I'll come back to this later because they're not losing anything. I'll watch another video because they're not losing anything. But that stops right now. Right now. Here's the question that's going to cut through it all. If this problem disappeared tomorrow, would they feel immediate relief? Not excitement, not motivation. Relief. Is a weight going to be lifted off their shoulders if they're able to fix this issue? This is what's going to turn your viewer into a buyer. Write it down. So now let's bring this full circle. If 90% of people who see your offer don't buy, it's not because you need more traffic. It's because the right people don't feel like you're talking to them. They're watching, they're engaging, but they don't feel like you really get them because you want to talk to everyone. You're not running for mayor. You don't need everyone's approval. You need to talk to the people that need help. You need to talk to the people who are tired and who want relief right now. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to get in front of those people? By building ads, leads, lead magnets, and landing pages that speak only to them. You're going to repel everyone else. You are on a FU campaign, okay? Because you're no longer just talking to anyone and everyone who will listen. You are talking to your power buyer. You identified who they are. You identified who they are not. You identified what they are currently going through. You identified what relief would look like if this issue was addressed. And we are no longer talking to anyone else. Now, if you feel uncomfortable with this webinar, then I'm doing my job. I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone so that gone are the days that 90% of people who see your offer don't buy. So that you no longer have to worry about 1,000 people watching and only a handful of them committing. That wasn't a marketing line, that was a mirror. Because I have been there and I have been excited about having vanity metrics and then had an empty bank account. I have stayed up late at night staring at analytics and second guessing, wondering where was the disconnect? Because the hardest part of this problem isn't that it's confusing, it's that it's embarrassing. That you feel like you should have had it already figured out. And that's the part that no one wants to talk about. And here's what I want you to notice. Nothing we covered today was flashy. No hacks, no one weird tricks, no magic button. What we did was get down to the real problem that you've been building for attention instead of conversion. That your message hasn't been wrong, it's been too open. That the people who should be buying haven't felt clearly spoken to. And when that's happening, you're not making sales. Launches feel inconsistent. Results feel unpredictable. Confidence erodes quietly. And it's not because you're bad at this, but because you just want to talk to all the wrong people. So instead of asking you to agree with me, I want you to notice something for yourself. Notice how different this feels now that you can name it. Notice how much lighter the problem feels now that it's specific. Notice how the embarrassment softens when you realize this isn't a personal flaw. Instagram is not trying to mess with your algorithm. This is a structural problem. That awareness alone changes how you move forward because now you know exactly what to fix. Okay, so at this point, right, there are two very real paths. So one is a path you're already on. You're tweaking everything by yourself. You're adjusting, trying to refine things without a clear lens for who everything is actually for. And now you see that lens. So you could absolutely try to build this yourself, slowly, carefully, piece by piece, using the framework that we just built. But there's another path too. One where this doesn't stay theoretical, one where this doesn't live in your notes or in your browser history, one where the friction you've been carrying gets removed systematically. And I want to show you what that path looks like. For the version of you that's tired of pretending with no real results. By now, you see why visibility alone isn't the problem, and why engagement doesn't mean anything if you are speaking to the wrong person. I want to show you what this looks like when it's actually fixed. And here's the truth. Most people don't need more ideas. They don't need another funnel, and they definitely don't need another random strategy. What they need is clarity. Clarity around the conversation they're already having and how to make things finally work. I built a coaching program specifically for this problem called the Conversation Clarity Method. And with this method, we realign every single touch point in your funnel, your ads, opt-in pages, follow-ups, so that the right conversation is happening from the start, long before you ever get on a call or before you ask for the sale. Because by the time someone reaches you, they already need to feel understood. This is how you turn your views into sales, by correctly identifying who you need to speak to from the beginning. So we have the first module of 4, and that's the ad module. And getting the right person to stop and scroll is where everything starts. So in this module, we don't focus on being clever. We focus on being specific. I like to get down to the nitty-gritty, so we nail down exactly who we're talking to, what their problem is, and why that problem feels frustrating right now. What are they losing right now? And instead of hyping up a big promise, the ad offers this and that. No, we talk about immediate relief. Something that makes the right person think, oh, this is about me. I need to stop this now. This is how you stop attracting attention from everyone and you start getting attention from the person who you can actually help. The second module is the lead magnet. We focus on one problem and we have one clear win. Once the right person clicks on the ad, we don't confuse them with other options. The lead magnet module takes everything we uncovered in the ad and it turns it into a simple, free solution to one specific problem that person is already trying to solve. I don't need a generic checklist. I don't need a case study. I don't need a whole bunch of different options. My job is to create a tailored solution that makes them feel that they are going to be relieved before they ever think about buying anything from me. And when someone gets a real win from something that's free, you build trust naturally. The third module is the landing page module. So here, I want to make them feel like, hey, I'm in the right place. This is where most funnels quietly fail because the click happens and then the page talks at the person instead of to the person. So in the landing page, we don't try to impress. We don't have a whole bunch of accolades and highlight reels. We focus on recognition and relatability. We craft a headline and a value proposition that immediately filters power buyers and speaks to their current problem, not a future dream. Then we anchor that message with a simple visual that shows the journey from pain to relief. So they don't just read it, they feel it. Next, we position the lead magnet as one clear win, not a list of features. So it's obvious how this helps them right now. It's all about relief. And finally, we remind them why they clicked in the first place. The inconsistency, the lost revenue, the quiet frustration of effort not turning into results. When a landing page does this and it speaks to their frustration, people are not going to bounce. They're going to stay because they know they're in the right place and they want that solution and they want it now. So the last module is the welcome sequence. And this is from relief to buyer momentum, right? So this is the moment most people waste. Someone opts in, they get the lead magnet, and then nothing meaningful happens. So in the welcome sequence module, we don't nurture. Okay, you always hear about people having a nurture sequence. Not here. We build momentum. A welcome sequence is a short, intentional series that starts immediately after someone opts in, while the problem is still real fresh and the relief is real. The first job is confirmation. Yes, you are in the right place. The second is, okay, the exact problem that brought you here from the ad, so that there's no confusion about why you're here. Oh yeah, I'm here to deliver that. I'm here to deliver that. And I'm here to deliver that with a paid product. So I went from a free product with the lead magnet, okay, to a one tier up to a paid product. Okay, so we're going to deliver that value and that's going to clear the fog. Not more information, but we're going to give more clarity, right? We're going to give more clarity and it's going to be without pressure. You're not going to have to force. You're not going to have to hype. It's just a clear step up for people who already have gotten a free product from us for the exact same solution. This is how you convert fast moving power buyers while attention is high. And that's the difference because it isn't a nurture sequence, it's a conversion bridge. All right, so you'll see the exact frameworks that I use to diagnose broken conversations. And you'll see before and after messaging shifts, real examples of headlines, lead magnet promises, and subject lines, right? So you'll notice how small changes in language create massive differences in response without increasing any ad spend. You literally are just refocusing on who you're talking to. And that is going to be the start of any successful ad campaign, any successful lead magnet, any successful landing page, or welcome sequence. So, I'm going to tell you how this is all delivered. But I want to say this carefully because this is usually the moment people finally exhale. The conversation clarity method is not a course that you binge and forget, okay? It's a coaching program. And if you can tell from this webinar, I'm super passionate. I really want you to win because I've been there and I know how it feels to not win. I know how it feels to be confused. I know how it feels to be frustrated. I know how it feels to be spending spending money on ads, and you're not getting anything back. So this is a coaching program. Okay, because what we are actually doing is walking through the exact places where everything looks cool on the outside, but it feels shaky when you're alone with your numbers. And we don't do that in isolation, we do it together. So every week we meet one on one, we go through each module in detail. So it's 4 modules, we meet for 4 weeks, okay? And we apply it directly to your ad, your lead magnets, your landing pages, and your welcome sequence. So this isn't just an investment in information. I'm invested with you. So really it's just support and it's correction in real time. So I bought so many courses, and the difference with the courses and the coaching is that nobody is there. Like I can maybe type something into a Facebook group and hope that I get a response, or maybe send an email or something like that, but they're not actually going to be looking at my work. Here, we look at your work. We have workbooks that you go through, and we look over your work, and we provide feedback. So it's clarity in real time. You're not tweaking headlines at midnight. You're not rewriting emails you already wrote. You're not wondering why people are watching, clicking, even replying, but not committing. Week by week, we work through each step together. So you start talking to the right people, and your sales stop feeling random. This is where your guessing ends, and this is how you can scale. If you're talking to the right person every single time, you're going to scale. You may not get every sale, but you're going to get exponentially more sales than if you're just talking to a bunch of random people who like your posts and think that, you have a cute dog. We don't care about those people no more. We're done with those people. It's over. So, with the coaching, you're guided through clear phases over 4 coaching calls, not to build more, right? We don't need to build anymore. What we need to do is correct. And we need to correct the moments that's really costing you your confidence. Because once the conversation is clear, you stop wondering if it's you. You stop wondering what you're doing wrong. You're not doing nothing wrong. You just are trying to build for vanity metrics. And that is not going to put money in the bank on a consistent basis. So this isn't just about making your funnel convert better. It removes that constant low-level doubt, the feeling that people assume you've got it figured out while you're behind the scenes adjusting decisions you already made 3 times. Okay, this fixes the gap between how your business looks and how it actually performs. So this is not about doing more. It's about finally ending the quiet embarrassment of visibility without commitment. And it's about knowing without having to guess that when the right person sees your offer, that they are going to buy. Now let's talk about investment, because I want you to see the value clearly before you even think about, well, what's the number? And here's what this is worth to me. If I were to try to figure this out for you personally, hands-on, okay, I'd easily charge $15,000. That's what it would take for me to sit with you, look at every single ad that you already have, every single landing page that you've created, every single email that you are sending out, and fix the conversation for you. Now, if you were to go to someone else to get this level of support, where your ads, lead magnets, landing pages, and follow-ups are all restructured to speak to the exact people who are ready to move and to pay you, you easily be looking around $12,000, $15,000 to $12,000 as well, right? And honestly, I think that would be a fair price for the result. Because we literally are getting into your system and changing it so that we're talking to the right people. We're not talking to everybody anymore. We're not talking to Joe Schmo. We're talking to the one person who needs your help and who needs your support so that you can provide them with one solution and start making sales that way. So you stop being the person with tons of visibility and engagement with only a handful of buyers. That's the worst feeling in the world. You stop wondering why 90% of people see your offer, but they don't make a commitment. They don't purchase it. And you get relief from second guessing systems that should be working by now. So instead, you get a conversation alignment, right? Where the right people recognize themselves immediately because you're targeting somebody specific. Immediately they recognize, oh, they're talking about me. Oh, that's the problem that I have. Oh, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. It's not working. Oh, I'm spending money I could be using on my family. I'm spending money I could be putting back into my business. I'm spending money, I'm doing all these extra things. I don't know what direction to go in next. That's who we want to talk to. And that shift alone, going from everyone's watching to the right people are responding, is worth more than any price tag. What I normally charge, right, for this 4 session, done with you coaching program, where I walk you step by step through your exact funnel, answer your questions, and make sure the system works for your business, because I'm literally doing a plug and play right into your business, is 10,000. That's what it costs for the exact system, the exact frameworks, and the guidance that I'm giving you today to plug directly into your business so that the conversations finally convert. But here's the deal. You didn't just show up today and listen to ideas. You crossed the hardest line. You now understand why people have been watching without committing. And more importantly, you know exactly what to fix first. And that alone removes a ton of pressure. So because you chose to show up, you committed yourself to the process and learned how to diagnose what's really happening in your business. I don't want you leaving here still carrying that quiet weight. The one where people assume you got it figured out while behind the scenes you're adjusting decisions you already made 3 times and hoping, man, I hope this finally works. For the rest of this webinar, you have the option to stop this on your own. You can get the full access to the 4-session Conversation Clarity Program and choose clarity over constant adjustment. The entire program I'm slashing in half because I normally would charge 10,000. It's available for 5. And what this really means is that you don't have to keep guessing. You don't have to keep wondering where things are breaking anymore. You don't have to revisit the same decisions over and over and over again. And you will finally know exactly what to fix and in what order and why. And you can move forward with a clear, guided process that replaces uncertainty with decisions you feel confident standing behind. If you are ready to finally end the frustration of seeing engagement without commitment, if you're ready to stop guessing why people aren't buying, this is your moment right here. If you're ready for visibility to finally turn into commitment, what a good feeling. You can claim your spot right now. You can click that link, and if your browser doesn't allow it, you can simply copy and paste. Because here's the truth. The longer you wait, the more money, the more time and opportunities you lose by talking to the wrong people. If you're ready to finally end the frustration of seeing all this engagement without commitment, now is your time. Now is your time. And see what I actually am going to do, because I want to make this a no-brainer. I want to make this a no-brainer offer for you. I'm actually going to include 7 exclusive bonuses that are exclusive to this webinar. Okay? So because you're committing today, you're not just getting the conversation clarity method with your 4 coaching calls. You're also getting exclusive bonuses that directly remove the mental load and make this weightlifting moment a no-brainer. So the first bonus is going to be the Funnel Fix Checklist, okay? Valued at $497. This is your personal roadmap to spot every place a conversation can stall in your funnel. Think of it as a cheat sheet. So your ads, pages, and emails are all actually aligned and working together instead of leaving people stuck or confused. It's the silent fix that prevents that 90% of people from walking away. That 90% of people who are engaging but not buying. All right? Let's go to bonus number 2. Bonus 2 is a swipe and apply library valued at $697. And I know how frustrating it is to stare at your copy and wonder, why isn't this converting? That's why I'm giving you my tried and true swipe files, headlines, hooks, emails, and even lead magnet copy that actually turned attention into action. You can plug them right in, tweak them to your liking, and see results without having to guess. When you sign up today, this library is yours to start using instantly. Bonus number 3, micro commitment conversion templates valued at $397. This one is a game changer. It's pre-written phrases for your emails, DMs, and landing pages that build trust before you ever make an offer. Now, let's be 100% clear, because every business is going to be different, right? And every power buyer is going to be different. But what this does is it gives you basically sample, right? Template micro commitments that you can use, and all you have to do is insert your business, insert the problem for your power buyer, insert the relief that they're seeking. That's all you have to do. And it's so simple. It is so simple. So you no longer have to have a pushy call to action or an awkward buy now moment, because people already feel ready to say yes because you have micro commitments along the way. They've already said yes in little ways all throughout. So if you grab your spot now, you'll get this as well. All right, bonus number 4, the Visibility to Conversation Workbook, valued at $297. So here's where you're finally going to put all the pieces together. This workbook walks you step by step to identify where your messaging is attracting the wrong people and how to turn attention into genuine interest. It's like a personal trainer for your funnel. And when you join today, this workbook comes with it. Bonus number 5, a Power Buyer Quick Start Guide, valued at $597. So let's cut to the chase. Most people are wasting time with quote unquote potential customers who never buy. We talk to them in the DMs. We spend so much money getting people to view our content, right? When we're utilizing ads, we spend so much money getting people to come to our profile and to follow. Okay, that's great. To like. Okay, that's great. To comment. Comment power. Comment sunrise. Comment made for more. And then if you use something like ManyChat, do you ever see your analytics? Do you ever see how many people actually click? It's a very small percent. Very, very small percent. But you know that because you're not getting sales. So you know that a lot of people aren't being added to your email list. You know that a lot of people are not buying. You know that. But you keep on spending money and trying to create content with the hope that you'll just reach a certain point and voila, it's going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how it goes. It doesn't go like that, because you want to talk to everybody. Okay, you want to talk to the person who is making soap. You want to talk to the person who's a dog walker, and you want to talk to all these different people, but you need to be talking to one person. Okay, so what this guide does is it shows you exactly how to find your power buyer. The person who's ready to pay right now, who's frustrated, who's aware that something is broken, and who's desperate for a solution. Not any guesswork, not any trial and error, just action you can take immediately. When you claim your spot today, this guide is yours to start using right now. Bonus number 6. This is the Embarrassment to Authority Swipe Pack. Okay, and this is valued at $697. And I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, this right here is where the magic happens, because they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to say they're embarrassed. They don't want to admit it. So this is your edge. These are the words, phrases, and angles that let you speak directly to the things your audience is embarrassed about. What is your power buyer embarrassed to admit? They don't want to admit that they're failing. They don't want to admit that their ads are not converting. Yeah, you're getting clicks. Yeah, you're getting likes. Yeah, you're getting engagement. But there's no money coming in. Or there's little money coming in. They don't want to admit that. It's embarrassing. So what this does is it positions you as a safe and obvious choice. No more ghosting, price shopping, or I'll think about it. We cut right to the chase and we get to right down to the point and to the nitty gritty that makes them feel less insecure about what they don't want other people to know. This right here is your edge because you will show that you are not afraid to call those things out, that you're not afraid to say what no one else wants to say. So when you sign up, this pack comes with your program. Bonus number 7. This is the full Power Buyer Blueprint. So this has a value of $1,497. And this is the crown jewel. Okay, this is the plug and play blueprint that combines everything: ads, lead magnets, landing pages, micro commitments, and targeting your power buyer. It's everything you need to finally turn visibility into predictable sales. You can literally open it and start implementing immediately. So grab your spot today, and you're getting this entire blueprint along with all the other 6 bonuses that's included. And that's well over $5,000 in value on top of the coaching program itself. So, yes, you're not just getting the method, you're not just getting checklists, swipe files, templates, workbooks, guides, full blueprint, but you're also getting coaching one-on-one for 4 weeks. Everything I have used to help clients go from 90% of people watching to real predictable sales, and you get it at 50% off all today for just $5,000. Now, before you think, okay, this all sounds amazing, but what if this doesn't work for me? Let's talk about it, because I want to remove all the risk from your decision today. Here's the truth. I built the Conversation Clarity Method and these bonuses to deliver results. And the results are success. But I also know that you're investing your time, your energy, and your money. And you deserve to feel confident that this is going to work for you. So here's what I do. I'm weird, right? I offer a 200% money back guarantee. Yeah, you heard that right. And you read it right. Because let me tell you something. 2 years ago, I was homeless. I built this program to 7 figures because it gives results. I have no interest in sleeping in McDonald's parking lots anymore. Okay? I have no interest in washing my son from a water bottle in my car. I have no interest in moving from hotel to hotel. I now value having stability. I now value having a predictable life. And I now value eating at a kitchen table. I value my son not having to go from school to school. And I value having a purpose, something I once questioned. So I have a vested interest in your success. And if you implement everything I give you, complete each of the workbooks, fill out every checklist, attend all 4 coaching calls, and you still don't get results, I'll not only refund you every dollar, I'll give you back 2 times. So that's $10,000 that I'll give you back. That's how confident I am that this system works when it's applied. This isn't some vague promise. There's a clear path to success laid out for you right now. All the workbooks, checklists, templates, swipe files, the blueprint, they're all designed so that if you do the work, you cannot fail and you will get results. And if you do all of that and you still don't see results, you get paid for the risk. You get paid for the risk because I want to know what happened. I want to know where did I mess up. I want to know how didn't this work for you so I can improve and I can be better. That's how committed I am to your success. Most programs out there leave you guessing, wondering if you applied it correctly, or worse, just hoping for results. But not here. I like to keep it real, and I remove the guesswork. I've removed the risk. You literally cannot lose if you follow the system. And here's the thing. You can start implementing right now, today. Plug this method into your business. Schedule your call. Let's talk immediately and start getting to the right people. So before we end this webinar, we've been on here for 54 minutes. Thank you for spending an hour with me. And I want to be honest, This isn't something I'm gonna keep open indefinitely. Like I said, I typically charge 10,000 because I get into this. I get into the business. I get into the coaching. I get into the clients. I get into the success. And the conversation clarity method comes with so many bonuses. All the bonuses I just showed you, the frameworks, the templates, the coaching calls, and everything else. And those bonuses, they are exclusive to this offer, right? So you cannot get them anywhere else. If you leave today, this webinar, you won't get those bonuses. They're going to be gone. So if you have been quietly feeling frustration, if you still have that subtle embarrassment of knowing your visibility is not turning into predictable sales, this is your moment to act right now. Click that checkout link. There's a red arrow. You should be able to click the link. Don't leave yourself stuck with 90% of people seeing your offer but not buying. Don't do it to yourself. I'm sick of it. I know you're sick of it too. Let's do something about it together. You've seen what it takes to fix this. Now you just need to make the commitment. At the end of the day, this system works, but only if you're in. And the doors are not going to stay open forever. So here's what you need to do right now. Click the button below, reserve your spot, lock in the conversation clarity method with all the exclusive bonuses, and schedule your first call with me. Let's chop it up, let's talk, and let's get your sales rolling in. We got this. Here you go. There's a link right there, and I hope you have a wonderful day.